without further ado, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Mets General Manager Billy Eppler.
Thanks, Ethan. And thanks everybody for being here today. A lot of people are making arrangements to head down to Florida, so appreciate the time. Today's a great day for our organization. To be able to, see a homegrown player, get to the big leagues is one thing, and to now be able to sign an extension and keep a homegrown player in our uniform just really adds the exclamation point to it all. When you are able to bring players through your system up to the big leagues, the connectivity that you feel in the organization and the morale that it kind of inspires, is a really strong feeling for everybody. I put their hands on the player when they get to the big leagues. It takes a village to do it, and Jeff had the talent, the resolve to scratch, claw, fight through a lot of adversity, and to make it to this point. And this is a very well-deserved day for him. And Jeff, the player at the major league level, he helps make my job easier. I've said that a number of times. He makes Buck's job easier as well. You can put him in a number of spots in the lineup. He's reliable. He brings contact ability, the ability to make good decisions in the batter's box, good decisions on the bases, and plays outfield and infield at a very high level. So we're glad he's here, and look forward to having him here for many years to come. It's a great day for the Mets. So congrats to Jeff, Tatiana, Lucas with your new lid. We're excited. You'll be sticking around for the years to come. Thank you. Congratulations. Congrats, Jeff.
Thank you. Super excited. Big day for both me and my family, and just super excited to be a New York Met for extended period of time. I've spent my entire career here. I was drafted 12th round by Drew. So I just want to say thanks for taking a shot on me. Appreciate it. I do want to thank Steve and Alex Cohen for their generosity and giving us this deal to be able to support our family for a long time. So thank you so much. I want to thank Billy in the front office. It's great working with them throughout this whole project. Garrett Parcell, you guys have been great so far. So thank you so much. I want to thank my parents and my family as well. Couldn't have done this without their support, and countless hours, Little League games, growing up, and just everything they've done for me. So I want to say thank you to them. Also want to thank my wife Tatiana. Couldn't have been done without her. We had a tough career in the minor leagues. Been through a lot. So couldn't have done it without her. She's my rock.
Thank you, Billy and Jeff. We're going to open it up to questions and answers. Please state your name and affiliation.
Steve Gelbs, SNY. Jeff, congratulations. You mentioned working with Billy and the staff during this process. Just what was this process like? How long had you guys been in talks, and I guess how long had this been on your radar?
I think we got talks, just after the arbitration deadline. We didn't come to an agreement, and I think it was discussed that an extension was to be had or to be possibly done on both ends, and it's fairly quick process. We got it done in a week or so, and happy I'm going to be here for a while.
And what was it about this team now and the direction it's heading that made you want to get this deal done and not see what was out there beyond this season?
I think it's starts with ownership. They want to put a winner on the field, and it's been pretty amazing to see what that's looked like the last few years. The free agents we're bringing in, the players we're investing in. So I want to be a part of that. New York Mets is the only team I know. Been in the organization since 2013. So you know, that's where I want to be. You know, New York is my home, and you know, I'm super happy to be playing for these fans and, you know, playing for this team for, you know, years to come.
Bruce Beck, NBC4 New York. Jeff, how driven are you to win a championship here?
Very. I mean, I think that's, you know, every player's goal. So, you know, we got to playoffs last year. You know, it's not where, you know, we ultimately want to end up. You know, we want to be a, you know, World Series contending team. So, you know, I love what, you know, we've done this offseason. You know, brought in some, you know, amazing players, and I think we're going to be, you know, even better this year.
Tim Healy from Newsday. You mentioned, Jeff, the difficult minor league career. I was wondering, do you ever reflect on the journey of, say, the last 5 years when you were 26, repeating AA, had dealt with a bunch of injuries before that, to now this, you know, batting title, this contract, and that kind of arc for you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was, 26-year-old, you know, AA. You know, wasn't really sure where, you know, my career was going to go. Came off some injuries, and you know, it all paid off. You know, I was healthy in that year, and you know, had a tremendous year. Actually, you know, I think Pete Alonso had a lot to do with that too. You know, just playing with him, and we became good friends, and you know, kind of pushing each other. You know, that was huge. And but yeah, you know, coming from that to, you know, the big leagues, and then winning a, you know, batting title, and then, you know, now this extension. You know, couldn't have dreamed it. You know, I don't think it, you know, could have been any better than this. So, you know, super happy.
What's the deal with Lindor's car that you're supposed to do?
I knew that was coming eventually. Still don't.
It could have been 2 years of a lot of questions. You've seen other guys, you know, what's going to happen when you hit free agency, that sort of thing. How much of a relief is it now to just sort of know where you are and not have to deal with all of that over the next couple of years?
Yeah, it's a huge relief for me. You know, it's, you know, it kind of plays into, you know, being, you know, 26 in AA, and you know, wondering if you're ever going to get paid, you know, in this game, and it's tough and it's frustrating sometimes, and you know, especially the years I've had, you know, I've been playing, you know, some really good baseball, and you know, just to be able to, you know, get those years of free agency, you know, taken care of, you know, it's a huge relief to me. You know, I can go out there every single day, you know, play the good baseball I know I'm capable of, and know my family's taken care of at the same time. So still going to be, you know, extremely driven, you know, still going to work hard every single day, and be the best baseball player I can be.
Each of those are at Fox Sports for Billy. Getting this contract extension done so smoothly with Jeff, does it make you want to turn your attention to other players, namely Pete Alonso, to try to get that discussion done?
Yeah, much like you were expecting a question, I was expecting that. You know, during the Ottavino and Narvaez press conference, I kind of made a point that we weren't going to talk about any player or employee-related matters. I just, you know, I totally get you asking the question. I really don't want to have our kind of our business out on the street. I don't think it's fair to the people involved. So I wouldn't say, but I totally get the question.
Lloyd Carroll from the Queens Chronicle, kind of piggybacking on Anthony's question. I was curious if, seeing the travails that your former teammate Michael Conforto went through as he was approaching free agency, if that was an impetus, if that was a factor, if it was on your mind in getting this deal done.
No, it wasn't on my mind. You know, I think, you know, that's a possibility for, you know, any player. You can go in free agency, and you know, injuries happen, so you know, it is tough. But you know, I thought right now, you know, what's best for me and my family was, you know, to take care of them, and you know, this deal was able to do that. So you know, no regrets with my decision, and you know, super happy to be a Met for a long time.
Mike Pooper, New York Post. Jeff, I'll just bounce the question to Billy your way a little bit. You know, Pete's kind of contract-wise the same as the spot you were before this deal, as far as 2 years away from free. Are you concerned at all that the longer it goes with him, that he'll go to free agency? Would you, as his friend and teammate, would you hope he gets something locked up before him?
Yeah, you know, Pete is, you know, one of my best friends on the team, and you know, coming up through the minor leagues. You know, I love playing with him. You know, he's a tremendous teammate and you know, fantastic player. You know, I'm not sure exactly where he stands on you know, that kind of you know, contract. So I'm not sure if he wants to, you know, test free agency or what his decision is. So you know, I'm just gonna leave that you know, up to him and his representatives.
For a few years or so. Is this, you know, is this dispiriting to like a Ronnie Mauricio or people in the minor league system where we see blockage here? I mean, you didn't sign that other guy at third base, so that's at least a little.
Yeah, we'll just, you know, as players in our system, you know, develop and make a case to, you know, push their way to the major leagues, then those are things that we'll, you know, take into consideration and evaluate at that time. But I like to start thinking about that now when players are still, you know, have you know, a number of things on their development plans to still do.
How have you been able to balance all the signings that you've been able to make so far? Because it's been very fast and furious. How have you been able to sort of kind of handle each one and be sure that everybody got treated fairly? And
yeah, it's moved it at a pretty fast pace this winter. Somebody the other day said, "How was the off season?" I said, "You mean the winter?" Yeah, it's gone fast, and I have a strong team around me in the front office that kind of helps provide insight, direction, and allows us to try to stay as nimble as we can.
Billy, I know you don't want to talk about Pete, but does this in any way indicate an appetite to do these sorts of things more often, whether with Pete or really anyone who's in those sorts of shoes?
Just you know, speaking more at like a high level. I mean, I've been involved in extensions before, and so always open to having dialogue if it makes sense for both sides. And yeah, as far as anything specific relating to the Mets roster, I'm just gonna drop my I wouldn't say line. So.
Having participated in extensions before, what pieces are in play that make it make sense in a given situation for team and for player?
Both parties wanting to do it, I guess. So, yeah, and then you know, and there's elements that drive that. It's not just a binary decision. It's more, you look at your system, you look at your team, you look at your roster, try to forecast out future years. So there's a number of elements that kind of drive that you know, kind of that end question that you have to ask at the end of it, which is there's a lot of criteria that goes into that question.
Does Jeff's positional flexibility make it easier to do a long-term deal, given that you have options should other moves that you want to make occur?
I'm a big fan of positional flexibility for those reasons, as well as, you know, the day-to-day reasons, which are, you know, the construction of the lineup and what we can do on a given day. If an outfielder needs a day off, you know, two guys want to have a day off, you can do that. That flexibility is important for us.
How much do you prefer these extensions getting done in the winter, the off season, rather than becoming a distraction for players during the season?
I'm good either way, really. So I think that's kind of driven a little bit more from the player side. I think when I've had circumstances in the past with players, you know, they've kind of given me the end of spring training lines, and that's fine. I'm good with that too. So it's them and their comfort level.
You've seen the success of organizations like the Braves have had doing these kind of deals. How important do you think it is to the health of a franchise to be able to do these kind of deals?
I mean, I think when the you know, when all of the kind of criteria and the elements you know, are that you're facing, you know, compel you to do that or kind of speak to you to do that or consider it, then I think they can be helpful. You know, they can sometimes put you in a situation where you can use free agency as a supplement to your roster rather than a need. So I think that's the longer term blueprint for the organization, is to be able to. The organization we'd love to be in the spot where we can use free agency to supplement and not have to go out and sign several more players every given winter. That's a tough spot to be in.
Is there any area of your roster that you're still actively looking to improve? Are you pretty well set at this point?
Open to getting better anywhere, if it makes sense. We do have a number of players on guaranteed deals, and guys that we've signed this winter time clearly. So but I'm always open to getting better.
Probabilistically speaking, would you anticipate, that's your word?
It's not my word. It's a word I use.
Would you imagine handing out another major league contract before camp starts?
I'm open to it, but if the opportunity presents itself, great. If it doesn't, then that's okay too.
Do you think your bullpen is still in pretty good shape, Billy, or could you look at it and see a need for another lefty, or how do you feel about it?
My familiarity with David Robertson from the team that he came up with and the team I used to work for. I remember us talking to Joe Girardi a little bit back in those days. He could serve as another lefty. Joe was on board with that. Because it's so good at getting left-handed hitters out, and then the acquisition of Brooks Raley, I think gives us another level left-hander as well. So, I feel good about our bullpen. At the end of the day, what we'd love to have is 5 high-leverage relievers. We've identified 5 high-leverage relievers. That helps you over 162 games, so that you don't run into those days. It doesn't mean you can't, but it's less likely to run into the days where 4 are down on the same day. That's tough when you want to navigate this full season, full calendar.
Just one more question on McNeil. When you forecast his next couple of years, why do you think his skill set is the sticky kind where it could be sustainable?
The what kind? I'm sorry.
Like a sticky kind that's like
a sticky kind?
Yeah, like the bat to ball skills, like they stick around for a while.
Oh, I got you. I understand what you mean. So he's got an extreme hand-eye ability, and if we were using some scouting terminology, we'd say really good feel for the barrel and the ability to direct the baseball. That's just good eyesight comes into it. The ability to kind of map trajectory of pitches and understand where pitches are going to end up and recognize spin and location. That's hard to do. It's really hard to do. And then to walk away with a batting title, shows you how good he is. I mean, Jeff was first player I sat with when I got the job here. His agent Joe Longo called me and asked me if I could meet with him prior to the lockout. So I drove up to, and we met around LAX. He drove down from just north of Santa Barbara, and I drove up from South Orange County, and we met there and had dinner, and I told him what the expectations were for him, what we were looking for him to be able to contribute. And I told him that he's got a skill set that is extremely valuable for this organization. And, whatever happened in 2021 as far as the back of the baseball card numbers and things like that didn't matter. We knew that he's a really strong player.
What was the impetus for Joe wanting to meet? It was just
new general manager. We hadn't hired a field manager yet. Probably you'd have to ask Joe, but that'd be my guess.
How do you think the new rules will affect a guy like McNeil, who was shifted probably more than he should have been if you look at his result? How do you think that will affect him or forecast it?
I think guys that put balls in play are probably going to close the gap a little on the home run. The pure home run hitter that strikes out a ton. The pure home run hitter that strikes out a ton is still a very valuable player. Don't get me But with high contact, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for teams, in their advanced scouting process and their defensive positioning process to be able to cover, kind of the lanes where the higher frequency of balls are going to travel. They're only going to really be able to have 2 people there, or 3 people there, but not 4. So that's a factor.
Do you view the shift limit as a small change or a big change?
Can I use the word medium? Right? I think some players it's going to affect more than others, right? I think you might actually see, in the longer term, some of the more one-dimensional players, the left-handed hitters that maybe did have really high strikeout, maybe kind of come back into the game because they'll hit for a little bit higher average. I think it's just going to impact everybody a little differently.
Do you have an update on Starling Marte now his recovery's gone?
He's doing well. He's on trajectory to be in spring, and we just connected with him again today, and we arrive in the Port St. Lucie. So, feel good about where he is.
Will he be limited at the start of spring?
It's that question. We can kind of say that everybody's on a progression. I'd say the best way that I can answer that is get our hands on the player, see how he's moving around, see how he feels in the early stages when he reports, and then set a progression accordingly. But every player, whether it's Nimmo or Canna or Lindor, whoever it is, we have progressions and how we want to kind of bring them along. So, but we'll see how Starling is when we get our hands on him.
Is he going to play in the WBC?
Still to be determined, but we'll have to just wait at it another time. Rosters are still kind of coming in, and players are still making decisions on where they stay.
Decided not to go to WBC.
In the process, and I think he counseled some of the more senior players and asked for opinions, and he told me a little bit about what he was thinking, and I thought it was well thought out, he wanted to just embrace all the new factors that he'll face coming into the organization, and just familiarize himself as much as possible.
Just kind of the personal calculus for you. Obviously you could have taken this to free agency if you wanted to. What was maybe the most driving factor to want to do it now?
I think taking care of my family was huge. I think getting called up at 26 and going to be a free agent at 33, you never know what's going to happen. I'm a pretty uptight person as well, so I think this kind of allows me to go out there and play baseball every single day. I don't have to worry. I can go out there and be the best player I can be, and know that my family's taken care of.
You consider yourself uptight?
Sometimes.
When you were going through the minor leagues and you were just waiting to get that call, was there something the advice that you had gotten, or was there something that you did just to keep yourself positive and keep yourself hopeful that you would be able to make this?
When I was going through the minor leagues, I was dealing with those injuries, and it was tough. It was tough to stay positive at times, but once I was able to get healthy, I knew I was a very good baseball player, and I let my kind of talent take care of itself, and that ultimately got me to the big leagues.
You mentioned up there that during those days you weren't sure what was going to become of your career. Were there times when you weren't sure if you were going to get to the majors? Never mind this stage.
I think everyone kind of has those thoughts in the minor leagues, especially I went it was probably a year and a half, almost 2 years of not being 100%. So you kind of think am I ever going to make it? What's going to happen? But was lucky enough in 18 to be back to myself, healthy, and even a better player than I was before the injuries.
What did Pete say to you when you signed?
He was so happy. He's one of the first people I called. He didn't know we were in extension talks, so wanted to surprise him, and that was pretty cool phone call to make.
But what does it mean in the clubhouse for you? other guys see that you signed, if other guys sign it, you see that they signed. What does it mean that that sort of thing is rewarded, especially for homegrown players?
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. We're taking care of us, the homegrown players, have been here, a long time, and, gives hope to, the younger guys who are just coming up, if they go out there and, play well, they could be a, player here for a long time and, getting that extension as well. So, means, a lot, especially for the, homegrown guys. It's great to see a guy like, Nemo getting, wasn't, extended, signed free agent deal, but, it's great for, guys like him who've been here for so long to, ultimately, get that big deal and, stay in New York.
You mentioned this will allow you not to worry. How much was it maybe weighing on your mind hitting free agency in general?
Yeah, I think it's on every player's mind. You never know what's gonna happen. You're one injury away from being out of this game, and that's frustrating. That's scary sometimes, but this deal's able to kind of take that off my mind, and just gonna go out there and play hard and be the baseball player I know I am.
How much did the car motivate you?
Puma's obsessed with the car.
Puma just wants to.
I don't care about the car. That's all I care about. Congrats on this $50 million.
Yeah. So no, the car. I have no idea what's happening.
Did he reply to your text?
What?
Did he reply to that text?
Oh yeah. No.
What did he say?
He said those were nice cars.
Which ones did you include?
They were nice cars.
Which ones did you include?
They were one brand of a very nice. There was one. Italian.
Was there anything that you and your agent talked about to get you through the process and eventually lead you to the contract that you were able to get, or?
Yeah, I mean we. Been discussing this for a while. It's something I really wanted, and we were able to. Just the timing kind of worked out, and the team was interested. We were interested, so happy we were able to come to an agreement.
Did a lot of the moves the Mets make last year and this year, and the players they brought in, make you more likely to commit long term versus under the old regime, maybe see what your value was on the free agent market?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic to have an ownership and a front office so committed to winning. I think that's why we're getting so many amazing players and guys who want to stay here. So they're doing a great job, and I see this trend in the future as well. Guys want to stay here, and guys want to play here. So it's been fantastic so far.
Is Lucas always that smiley and happy?
He is. We just got him to sleep almost through the night, which is almost as good as this extension. So it's been tough, but he's learning. So
what are you gonna get him first? A baseball bat or a golf club?
He's already got a golf club. Yeah, he got a Masters putter from
nice.
one of my buddies who was out there, and then he Ducktail did make him a pretty cool baseball bat as well. So he's got both, and we'll see which one he decides.
What's his attention span for watching you play on TV?
My wife puts him in front of TV. He's got no clue. But when mom starts cheering, he gets pretty excited as well.
What do you kind of anticipate this spring training being like with both the World Baseball Classic and then all the rule changes that are coming into play, and how do you kind of hope to adapt to those changes?
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, definitely an interesting spring training. We got a lot of guys going to the WBC, so I think the good thing about this team is I think most of our infield is going. We've all played together before, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. I think we're going to have some time to come back as well, and get used to playing with each other again. But as long as the rule changes, or as far as the rule changes go, I don't think it's going to be too hard to adjust. I'm playing a normal second base now instead of in short right field. So I've been playing second base my whole life, so it shouldn't be too hard to adjust to. And same with the pace of play. I've played with the clock before. I actually played some rehab games, I think, in the minor leagues when they had the clock, and it wasn't too bad.
You strictly playing second base at the WBC?
I've heard I can move around as well. I'm not 100% sure.
So there's talk that Mookie wanted to play second. So
that's good. Yeah, no, I'm not sure what the plan is. I know my position, versatility, gives the Euro some option, and I'm just happy to be on that field playing for Team USA.
As far as hitting without the shift, what do you anticipate that being like? Are you excited about that? What are your kind of feelings?
Yeah, I mean, when they do shift me, I just hit against the shift, and when they don't shift me, I just hit. It allows me to just kind of be a pretty good hitter. When I look out there and it's just straight up defense. There's no giant holes. I can just be the good hitter I know I am. When they do give me a giant hole somewhere, I'm going to try to guide the ball through there and try to get my single.
Jeff, did you really think about being on the PGA Tour, like in the minors? And, the senior tour is still an option, I guess.
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily the minors, but
I was curious.
I did want to play, college golf, and wanted to do that, and ultimately chose college baseball instead, and I'm happy that worked out. But there's always time to play some golf. Once baseball's done, I've actually talked to Smoltz a little bit about that a couple weeks ago. We were playing some golf, and he's played some.
Is he as good as?
He's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we had a good match. So we only played 9 holes, but we had a good little match, and kind of talked about some of the tournaments he's played in, and that opportunity he got once baseball's over.
Just